Hello and welcome to The Top Story, a podcast with the headlines of the day from our correspondents around the world. I'm Meng Zihan, coming up in this edition. The UN Security Agency has heard how the US and Israel-backed aid organization may be causing, quote, mass casualties. The Thai Constitutional Court has suspended the Prime Minister from duty after a leaked phone call on border issues with Cambodia. And July the 1st marks the 104th year of the founding of the Communist Party of China. It is also the 28th anniversary of Hong Kong's return to the motherland. We begin at the United Nations. The UN Security Council has heard how the US and Israel-backed aid organization may be causing, quote, mass casualties. The accusation came from a British official against the US private contractor Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. It follows new reports of Palestinians being killed while seeking food aid in southern Gaza. The UK official told the Security Council that over 500 people have been killed while trying to get aid. Mitch McCann reports from the UN headquarters in New York.
At the Security Council on Monday, the Council was briefed on the situation in Gaza by Mohammed Khalid Kiari, the Assistant Secretary General for the Middle East, Asia and the Pacific. Mr. Kiari told the Council that since the 17th of June, at least 580 Palestinians have been killed, either while trying to reach the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation distribution points or while waiting for other aid convoys, citing figures from the Hamas-run Gaza Ministry of Health.
Following almost 80 days of Israel denial of entry of all humanitarian commercial supplies into Gaza, supplies have started to enter Gaza at wholly inadequate levels, which do not meet the massive needs of the population. We call upon Israel to fulfill its obligation under international law and allow the rapid and unimpeded passages of humanitarian relief for civilians in need.
Just last week, the UN Secretary-General blasted the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, calling it inherently unsafe and saying it is killing people. Despite criticism from the Secretary-General, from American allies and other aid groups, the United States representative painted a rosy picture of the group, saying it was achieving its aid distribution objectives.
Every single GHF truck, more than 700 in total so far, has reached its intended distribution site. We urge Council members to support the work of the GHF as it delivers life-saving aid to civilians on the ground. The alternatives are a gift to Hamas, allowing it to divert aid, profiteer, and strengthen its power in Gaza.
The permanent representative of China to the United Nations reiterated concerns over the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation and demanded an end to the shootings of people seeking aid. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has pushed back against the criticism, often saying incidents involving the shootings of Palestinians occurred when its own staff were under threat. And it claims that death toll figures from the Hamas-affiliated Gaza Health Ministry lack credibility. Last month, the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, an initiative frequently cited by governments and NGOs, estimated that 1 in 5 people in Gaza are facing starvation.
That was Mitch McCann reporting. Elsewhere in the US, marathon voting is underway in the Senate, where Republicans hope to pass President Donald Trump's sweeping tax cut and spending bill. Democratic senators have united against the president's so-called Big Beautiful Bill. Divisions remain among Republicans concerned about the trillions of dollars it will add to the country's debt. Result is still unclear after 12 hours of voting. Jim Spellman has more details.
The so-called Big Beautiful Bill contains the key parts of President Trump's legislative agenda. It extends trillions of dollars in tax cuts, provides more funding for border enforcement and the military, while making cuts to the Medicaid health care plan for the poor, student loans, and food assistance for needy families. It also contains some of Trump's specific campaign promises, like no taxes on tips or overtime with limits, and rescinds funding for some climate projects. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says the bill would add $3.3 trillion to the national debt over the next decade. Critics say the bill helps the wealthy and hurts the most vulnerable. No Democrats support the bill, and there has been resistance from a handful of Republican senators. Some oppose the cuts to social safety net programs, and other more fiscally conservative senators say the bill is simply too expensive. This has created serious infighting within the Republican Party. President Trump has called for those senators who don't support the bill to face primary challenges. In upcoming elections, one senator, Tom Tillis from North Carolina, faced so much pressure he announced he won't seek re-election.
Now, Republicans are about to make a mistake on health care and betraying a promise. It is inescapable that this bill in its current form will betray the very promise that Donald J. Trump made in the Oval Office or in the cabinet room when I was there with finance, where he said we can go after waste, fraud, and abuse on any programs.
Before this can become law, it must go back to the House of Representatives, where a different version passed last month. The House is expected to vote again on this revised Senate version, or if the votes are not there for the Senate version, it's possible the Senate and House will meet, try to come up with a compromise version. If that happens, both chambers would vote on the measure again. President Trump says he wants the bill on his desk to sign on by Friday, July 4th, Independence Day, here in the United States.
That was Jim Spellman in Washington, D.C. In South Africa, the fate of Nissan's car manufacturing plant is hanging in the balance as the Japanese automaker grapples to save its operations. The automotive giant announced plans last month to shut down 7 plants and shed 20,000 jobs in its global workforce as it suffers a financial crunch. Nissan South Africa has remained tight-lipped on how this plan will affect its operations. Najma Abdirizak has more details.
Operations at Nissan's Roslyn plant continue as normal as it waits for word on its future. The site could be one of 7 facing the chop as the Japanese automaker faces a financial crunch.
They are still obviously waiting for confirmation from their global principals, and they will obviously inform us once they are ready to be able to tell us what's happening. But obviously, I think it is absolutely clear that Nissan globally will be rationalizing its operations, and whether South Africa is going to be impacted directly or not, I think that jury is still out.
Nissan has been part of South Africa's automotive landscape for over 60 years. First as an assembly plant in 1963, then going into full-scale production in 1973, and has since seen many iconic brands roll off the production line, the latest being the Navara. Analysts say it has been a casualty of its own failures. Nissan took the lead in the electric vehicles with the Leaf, but has fallen behind its competitors.
Not all the legacy automakers are joining the EV revolution, if I can call it that. And if they don't keep up with the changes, then they will lose out. They are all losing sales at the moment. And the Chinese vehicle manufacturers that are really into this now are gaining ground. BYD is the biggest automotive manufacturer in the world now. And you would have never said that a few years back.
While a possible closure will temporarily set the industry back, it could pave the way for new investment. The global automotive landscape is going through a rapid transformation as the green energy revolution takes shape. Nissan's woes is now set to serve as a signal to other car makers to up their game.
That was Najma Abdirazak reporting. Turning to Asia, the Thai Constitutional Court has suspended Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra from duty after accepting a petition seeking her removal from office over a leaked phone call on border issues with neighbouring Cambodia. Judges unanimously voted to accept the petition, ordering Paetongtarn to stop performing duties as Prime Minister pending a final ruling. Paetongtarn has faced protests following the call. Chowarat Yungjiranong has more from Bangkok.
So it seems as if we're seeing another kind of rerun with what happened with former Prime Minister Sethar. With Kun Paetongtarn Shinawatra, what we do know is that the court has unanimously accepted to look at the case. She has up to 15 days to submit a defense. The vote was 7-2 to suspend her as Prime Minister in grounds of violating the law with the leaked audio clip that she had a conversation with the former leader of Cambodia, Hun Sen. This was said, according to those who filed this case, according to the senators, to be behavior harmful for the sovereignty and traitorous for the country of Thailand, and it violates ministerial duties. So we will have to see how the caretaker government forms. She did a press conference, and so she did briefly talk a little bit about what she was planning to do in the future. which is basically she is going to take the 15 days that is given to her by the court to gather information, to clear her name. She wants to clear her name, to say that what she had done was for the benefit of the country. Earlier, we had seen that she was going to take a position of culture minister. We don't know exactly if that's still going to be true. She did not mention that, but she did say that she's going to perform her duties as a leader as much as she can in whatever position that she is at. She apologized to the Thai people, and she says at the end of the day, she's really there to clear her name.
That was Chalvaraj Yungjiranong reporting. And finally, in China, July the 1st marks the 104th anniversary of the founding of the Communist Party of China. The party had more than 100.2 million members at the end of 2024, up by more than 1 million from 2023. It also had more than 5.2 million primary-level organizations at the end of 2024, an increase of 74,000 compared with the previous year. General Secretary Xi Jinping of the CPC Central Committee has called for full and rigorous self-governance through good conduct. Ho Na has more.
Xi Jinping, the General Secretary at the Communist Party of China Central Committee, urges the party to advance full, rigorous self-governance through good conduct. General Secretary Xi made remarks on Monday at a group study session of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee. He noted that the 8-point rules to improve work conduct are the party's clear guidelines in self-governance. The task of advancing Chinese modernization is formidable, and the party faces an exceptionally complex governance environment. And this marks the 8-point rules necessary to maintain a heightened sense of self-reform. On the anti-corruption drive, the exercise of power must be well regulated. Efforts to address disciplinary and legal violations should be resolute. Party conduct and discipline must be put into concrete actions. He called on leading officials at all levels to be responsible for party self-governance. Party organizations should carry out the 8-point rules education campaign to face problems head-on, ensure thorough implementation of rectifications, and improve mechanism to maintain sound party conduct in the long term. And the 8-point rules were issued in 2012. It provided guidelines for the conduct of party officials during research tours, meetings, and other official duties. It has improved trust in the party and become the ethos for our party members.
That was Ho Na reporting. July the 1st this year also marks the 28th anniversary of Hong Kong's return to China and the establishment of it as the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. The Chinese national flag and Hong Kong's regional flag were raised in a ceremony to mark the occasion. As An Chang reports, a festive atmosphere fills the city amid celebrations from all walks of life.
I was at the Golden Bohemian Square in Wan Chai District, where a flag-raising ceremony was held to kick off the festivities. It was led by Chief Executive John Lee, and he was joined by leaders and representatives from different communities. The police band performed while a choir from a secondary school sang the national anthem. That was followed by a fly past and a sea parade performed by discipline services such as the police and fire department. And after that, the chief executive hosted an indoor reception. He shared achievements made by his administration over the past 3 years and outlined his vision for the city's future, including pledging to balance high-quality development and security and addressing livelihood issues. Enhancing the city's economy and competitiveness has been one of the city's focuses. I also spoke to some representatives of the business community, and they shared that they were very optimistic about the city's economic future. The chairman of the International Chamber of Commerce in Hong Kong, Keith Brandt, shared that he thinks Hong Kong is making a wonderful return from a challenging few years and that it's exciting to see a much brighter future for Hong Kong in the coming months and years ahead. Lee Tung Avenue, it's a popular street for shopping and dining. Despite rain, it's still quite festive. There are many flags hung up as part of the decorations, and many people are still here to come and take pictures. This is just one of many other areas across the city that are decorated to help bring up the festive atmosphere. And to celebrate this occasion, there are also lots of freebies and discounts on offer. For example, for public transport, all tram rides are free, and some ferry rides are also free, such as the one on the Tsim Sha Tsui and Wan Chai route. And for the metro, 71,000 e-single journey tickets are being given away through a lucky draw. Meanwhile, for arts and culture and leisure, museums like the Hong Kong Science Museum and Hong Kong Space Museum are offering free admission for permanent exhibitions, while discounted tickets are offered at Ocean Park, that's a popular theme park, and Nong Ping 360, that's a cable car ride. As for dining and consumption, over 4,000 restaurants and merchants are offering discounts, with many going at 71% of the original price or involving the numbers 7 and 1. And this is a play on the July 1st digits. Discounts are also available at public markets like the Aberdeen Market and Lai Wan Market. And meanwhile, starting late June till August, as part of the Hong Kong Summer Viva campaign, local businesses are offering various summer-themed dining, shopping attractions, tours and entertainment, deals to encourage residents and visitors to enjoy the city.
That was Ann Chang reporting. Recapping today's headlines, the UN Security Council has heard how the US and Israel-backed aid organization may be causing, quote, mass casualties. The Thai Constitutional Court has suspended the Prime Minister from duty after leaked phone call on border issues with neighbouring Cambodia. And July the 1st this year marks the 104th year of the founding of the Communist Party of China. It is also the 28th anniversary of Hong Kong's return to the motherland. That's it for this edition of The Top Story, a podcast that brings you world headlines every weekday. For more news in politics, business, sports and culture, you can subscribe to the Beijing Hour, a one-hour podcast news magazine program. We welcome and appreciate all ratings and reviews. And once again, thank you for listening.